My name is Thomas Holland, and I'm driving a Ford F-150 XLT 4x4 Super Crew. Did I get that right? That was a lot of stuff. I don't like trucks as daily vehicles. I really don't. However, after driving this truck for a couple days, I love it. In Canada, trucks seem to get used more as family haulers than for actual utility. So I took this XLT up to the cottage with 4 people and an entire long weekend worth of stuff. And you know what? It worked brilliantly. This is the middle of the range F-150, but that's the one that most of you will buy. That doesn't mean that it's cheap though. It starts at $44,749, and with over $10,000 in options, it comes to $57,594 Canadian. Boxes ticked are the optional 10-speed auto transmission, which by the way is excellent, a towing package, a 136-liter fuel tank, a drop-in bed liner, and equipment package 302A, which gets you power rear windows, the Sync 3 infotainment, the reverse sensing system, and a few other goodies. There are a lot of options on this truck, which I'll discuss in a minute, but the big takeaway here is that the F-150 is very customizable. You even have several engines to choose from. But after spending a week with this motor, I was a big fan. This one is the 2.7-liter EcoBoost, which has 325 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. And I'll be honest with you, the first time that I drove this truck, I thought it had a V8. Not because of the sound, but just because of the way that it kind of pulls you without effort off the line. This one has the 4x4 off-road package, which is important because it comes with a locking rear differential, and it has upgraded suspension in the front and a skid plate. Now, that is the first thing that I would do, because right now this truck as it is a serious off-roading vehicle. This is the Super Crew, so it has a ridiculous amount of space on the inside here. Like, this is hilarious right now, right? This seat is in a position that I would be able to drive it, and like, I can fully lounge. It's awesome. And these seats fold up. You get why people really like these trucks, because they're actually super practical. Like, it's, once you've lived with one for a week, you're like, how am I going to go back to dealing with normal amounts of space? Okay, how do I put this up again here? Oh yeah, it just goes. And you have this chasm of space in the back. It's awesome. This one has a drop-in bed liner as opposed to a spray-on bed liner, but unfortunately it doesn't have that cool, I don't know if you've seen it already, but you can get this like little step thing that comes out and a little handle that comes up. This one doesn't have that. One thing I feel like that a truck like of this price should have is some pistons to lower this down. The Dodge Ram didn't have this either, and I was really surprised because I have a Nissan Titan in my family from 2008, and it has pistons that lower this hatch down for you. First time I did it, it just dropped. Anyway. This one also has the Sport Appearance package, and that gives you some things like body-colored handles, 18-inch wheels, which doesn't matter that they're 18-inch because they still look incredibly tiny on those massive tires. This is a 275 65/18 tire in the back, which is huge, and I'm sure it weighs a lot. Wouldn't want to change those tires in the wintertime. Impressively, for a 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine, this has an 8,500 pound towing capacity, which is more than enough to haul all of your toys, obviously. And we are in cottage country, so this is a very, trust me, as a Canadian, this is a very, very popular truck up here. Not just the Ford, but any pickup truck, but Ford's more than anything. Most sold vehicle in the world. It hauls a boat, a couple Sea-Doos, an entire family, and everything you conceivably need for a weekend at the cottage, which is where we are. And we're going to take it for a drive on the road now. Let's do that. So here's the thing. This doesn't really drive like a truck to me. Like, in my head, when I think of a truck, I think of something that's a little bit annoying. It has a massive steering ratio and like a big bus wheel. You gotta go like this to turn. This doesn't have that. It just kind of drives like a big SUV. And that's probably the most impressive part about it, is that you don't feel like you're in a colossal pickup truck. I can easily see in 2 seconds after driving this thing why so many people buy them. Because it's actually pretty easy to live with, honestly. I thought I was going to be complaining about this truck all week because I'm so used to small little cars and I like it being easy to park, but honestly, after driving this thing for 5 minutes, I was like, crap, I really like it. All right, so we're up in cottage country in Canada because this is what you do with a truck, right? I mean, other than going to Tim Hortons, excessive trips to Home Depot and Canadian Tire, picking up lumber, I think. Right, but just around here on these back roads like this is a gravel road, up and down. I'm not concerned about anything. I'm not even concerned about the size of it. And it's not a small vehicle. You saw it. It's huge. It's way bigger than a regular car.
But you kind of just, he's like, man, yeah, it's easy to drive. I'm not concerned about where the edges of the vehicle are, right? I've got an amazing backup camera. It's a cinch to drive around. The steering is light, and the ratio of the steering is actually fairly quick, right? For a vehicle that really is proper truck chassis, can tow 8,500 pounds, couple thousand-pound payload. The front end of it feels dainty. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it does. Like, the steering is light, and the steering ratio is actually fairly quick. So you just turn around the corner and it just kind of goes. There's actually a minimal amount of body lean, and the ride is good, right? I had a couple passengers in the back, and they were commenting like, you know what? It's actually really comfortable back here. You don't get a lot of that solid rear axle kind of back and forth truck thing that you get with some trucks. This just kind of rides over the road. And I have absolutely no complaints about the way that it drives. Now, the powertrain is very impressive. We can pop it over onto sport mode like this. All right, sport, back road. I put my foot down. Makes a cool noise, and we're up to speed quick. Look at that. And it just kind of keeps hauling. You can feel that torque. As I said in the first part there, I thought this was a V8 right off the bat. Kind of just goes and kind of pulls you up to speed, right? It has that truck torque that you want. I really like this EcoBoost motor. And I'm going to pop it back over into Eco mode here, okay? And the advantage to this turbocharged motor is that I'm averaging 10 liters per 100 kilometers, or even under 10 liters per 100 kilometers if I have a lot of highway. When I was doing just city driving, I wasn't going over 13 liters per 100 kilometers, and kind of with a little bit of back roads and a little bit of highway here and there, you're between 10 and 12 easily. When I was just doing highway, I was in the 9s, right? Low 9s, actually. That's hilarious. That's better than most small cars nowadays, right? So it's because of the military-grade aluminum. What is military-grade aluminum? I don't even know. Other things that I have in this package, I've got a proper 110-volt plug right in the front here. There's a current limit, obviously, so you couldn't plug a microwave into it, as far as I know. I've got all the goodies on the inside that you need, and none of the stuff that you don't. So this is the truck that, if I was going to buy one, this is what I would buy. You get all the stuff, all the off-roading things. I've got 2 high, 4 high, proper 4x4. I can pull this to lock the diff. I've got a trailer backup assist, which is, you don't really need that if you can back up a trailer. Man, you're a man. You're supposed to do it with just the mirrors and one of these as you're backing up. But yeah, I've got none of the extra stuff that I don't need. I've got heated seats. I don't have leather. You don't really need leather. I suppose it's nice. It keeps a little bit cleaner. I've got the Sync 3 infotainment, which I actually do like. I wouldn't mind some hard buttons to get to the certain screens, like my apps, navigation, and my phone. They're all on the screen. But I do have a physical volume knob and a physical tuning knob, which is nice. The home screen is pretty well laid out. It's got your radio and your nav right there. And you plug in your iPhone and Apple CarPlay pops right up. And that's really all you need in the end. I've got my center screen here in the center of my gauge cluster, which tells me lots of stuff. I don't like this screen, though. I don't like this interface. I find it a little bit... You have to go through 2 separate menus on the left to get between, like, where you'd want to see your speed on the road and where you'd want to see your trip and fuel economy. Under my main menu, I've got digital speed, which is nice, tire pressures, which is good, transmission temp, distance to empty, and engine hours of operation. I think on that screen I should have a fuel economy meter as well, so then I have to go back over into another menu to get to my trip and fuel. But I do like the kind of eco gauge here that shows you the last 30 minutes average fuel economy, and you can kind of track your bars. It's like a game. You try and be as fuel efficient as you possibly can with your truck. The interior of the car feels pretty low rent. It's not very impressive. This is my biggest beef with trucks, is that you pay quite a lot of money, okay? And you get things like this little corner in the door here, which looks like it was just dremeled out of plastic. And then when you put the window down, I'm not gonna do it because you won't be able to hear me, but like the plastic edge of the door frame is sharp. Like where they molded the plastic, there's like a little ridge of sharp plastic. So when you put your arm on it, it digs into your arm. Like come on, like that type of stuff does not need to be in here. The rest of the interior physically here is a lot of hard plastics and things kind of creak. Not super impressed with the quality of the interior. You are putting money into the fact that it can tow 8,500 pounds, has a huge payload, and it has a locking differential with proper 4x4. So that's where your money is going, and as long as you're okay with that, good. But if you're not and you don't care about those things, you don't need a truck. This is where my opinions come in. Because a lot of people get these as just daily vehicles. That's truly silly. It really is. This is not a daily vehicle. This is a proper truck. It's designed for utility. It's designed for towing. It's designed for contractors. It's designed for people that need to pull a boat. That's why you buy this truck. You do not buy this truck if you go from your house to drop your kids off at school to Walmart and back to your house. That is not the reason you buy this. Get something smaller, please. Now, these trucks are infinitely customizable, and there's little things that you can add on here and there. I've got some really good floor mats in the back. This $1,700 moonroof is massive. It's cool, but that's a lot of money for a moonroof. It goes all the way back. It's nice. Sound in the cabin's actually pretty good with these tires anyway. There's a little bit of wind noise kind of coming from up around here, but it's not really that noticeable. If you have the radio on and all, you won't even notice it. Road noise is minimal, and you can have a conversation with the people in the back even though they are 4 kilometers away from you. But the point is that I like this truck as it is. This is probably very similar to what I would buy because it has everything that you need to be able to tow and to be comfortable in, and nothing excessive. There's no excessive parts of this truck, right? You don't need the crazy leather seats. You don't even need cooled seats. The air conditioning is super powerful, and right now it is like 35 degrees Celsius out, and I'm comfy sitting in here, right? And it doesn't even seem to affect the fuel economy very much having the AC on. I tried it on and off, windows open. I didn't even notice a difference. So AC it is. Controls in the steering wheel are fairly straightforward. It seems backwards from a lot of other cars that I drive. We have volume and music control on this side, voice commands. We've got our little selector to go through our screen in the center, and we have cruise control down on this side over here. The driving position in this car is very comfortable. It's not truck-like. This particular package, the 302A package, has adjustable pedals, which is very important. I didn't like the Dodge Ram last time I drove it. I haven't driven the newest one, but the previous generation Dodge Ram, I didn't like it because no matter where I put the pedals or the seat or the steering wheel, my heel was cranked back like this to be able to get onto the brake pedal based on where I wanted the steering wheel. This truck is exactly perfect for me. I have a ton of headroom, and I can go even lower with this seat. I've got all the room that I need on the sides, but it's not so far away that I can't rest my hand. I can have my hands on the armrests, and I can control the truck with my fingers like this if I want to be comfortable on long journeys. And I've got the perfect spacing for the pedals. Drove this truck up north, 300 kilometers, absolutely no discomfort whatsoever. That is why people buy these trucks, because as well as being useful, they are very comfortable. So, my name is Thomas Holland. Thank you for watching Throttle House. I've got car reviews like this coming at you all summer long. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of these or miss any of my BMW build videos or my One Track Mind series where I do proper track tests, drag times, lap times, all the good stuff. Thank you for watching Throttle House.